Welcome back to Make Your Child a Millionaire, where the focus is generational wealth building and tax-free growth for those cash accounts. Today we have Kelly and her daughter Halo. Now, Kelly comes from a great family here in the Atlanta area who always had life insurance. A couple years ago, her husband had a heart attack and passed away. Kelly's on her own now, taking care of their 11-year-old daughter, Halo, and wanted to begin a permanent life policy that her little girl could borrow against for major purchases at different points in her life, to recapture that interest when she pays it back to herself. Kelly knew that through proper planning, she could finance wealth and make her daughter a millionaire. Now, this is a wise concept that some parents nowadays are using for their children's financial future. So, this is not a secret. She's here to play millionaire, and she's planning to get $1 million in her child's pocket. Now, here are the rules of the game. A child can only have half as much coverage as their parents does, so Kelly doesn't smoke tobacco, and she's in standard health. So the option we found her was a 30-year, $250,000 term policy for around $35 a month to pay off her house in the event of her passing. And she says she wants to start putting away $100 a month into her daughter's policy. Now, since Halo is a minor, Kelly's the actual owner of the policy, and she can borrow against it or make withdrawals if needed. When a child comes of age to maintain the policy on her own, or if her mother passes away, the child or guardian will then become the new owner administrator of the policy. Since the policy was purchased while the child was so young, in this case 11 years old, her monthly premium is locked in at $100 for the entire payment period, even at times when her friends are paying hundreds of dollars a month for the same coverage. With this product, she has flexible payments, so if the finances ever went through a down period, she can let the insurance know that she needs to skip a few payments as long as she doesn't owe more than what's in the policy and make it up later. Or not make it up. Either way, if she needs it, she can lean on her policy through her college years. And the funny part about her policy is, through the Sage Scholars Program, even though this premium is only $1,200 a year, in year one she starts off with $5,500 in free college points, and they give her 2,000 more points each year that she owns her policy. So she ends up getting a lot of free college tuition there, and other benefits that can make the policy more than pay for itself. When she needs her first car, she can borrow against her policy. After college, when she wants to go backpacking across Africa, she makes a call to her insurance company and fills out the one-page request form, and they cut her a check within 24 hours. When she wants to start her own business, it'll be there for her to borrow against. Now, traditionally, when we pay interest, we never get that back, do we? In the first 10 years of this scenario, there's a 5% interest rate, and when she pays the money back into her policy, it just adds on to her cash account balance. Now, paying that interest back to herself just supercharges her cash account. And after year 10, the interest rate plummets to 0%, and she can pay it back or not pay it back. Either way, she's a winner. Now, at age 31, they tucked a total of $24,000 away for Halo, and the cash account has grown to $38,000. At 41, they put in $36,000, but their cash account is now over $96,000. And look at how the death benefit has grown over this time period as well, starting off at $100,000 and already more than $240,000. At age 51, the $48,000 that they paid into this thing has now grown to $218,000, and that death benefit is now at over $403,000. And when she gets ready for retirement at age 65, the payment period ends, and even though they put in $64,800 over her entire lifetime, that cash account is now at $637,000, and this lucky girl has over $777,000 in death benefit. So, at $1,200 that they're putting away each year until she's age 65, that's a total premium paid of $64,800. They thought it made the most sense to stop making the premium payments at age 65 because what happens at 65? Most people want to enjoy their retirement around that age. That's when her policy starts paying her through tax-free, interest-free loans. And when she cuts on the cash, even though they put in a total of $64,000, at age 66, that first year that she starts getting her policy loans, she gets $61,670, tax-free money, and another $61,000 policy loan every year afterwards until she's 120 years old, for a total of $3.3 million in tax-free money from a $65,000 investment. Now, all these cash accounts that you're seeing are illustrated at 7%. Over the last 40 years, these policies across the board with all the carriers combined average just shy of 8%. When we designed these, we stress test them at just over 4%. Now, the S&P doesn't do 4%. Can't think of any period of time that it consistently did do 4%, but our typical firm stance is that we won't sell a policy that can't survive 30 consecutive years at 4%. Hardly any other firm does that. The carrier on this particular one, over the last 10 years, their policies have performed around 8.8%. So, now I'm asking you in the studio audience, if money wasn't an object, which of these options would you hate the most? 1. Save that budget. Get the 30-year term coverage on herself for $250,000 and put a $25,000 child term rider on her daughter for another $10 a month. 2. Get the 30-year term product for $250,000 in coverage for herself and put the $100 a month permanent policy on her daughter to make her a millionaire. 3. See how much she could start putting away into her own permanent policy on herself and get her daughter the $100 a month permanent policy to grow both those cash accounts. And don't forget, she could always do nothing and hope nothing happens. I know. Well, we can't wait to see what you think would probably be the best thing to do next. And if you can see yourself doing something like this, I think we're going to be able to help you too. You've been playing Make Your Child a Millionaire.